And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire, in Fontus, some aliens. We should be basically at the end of round 258 here. I believe we have ongoing wars with two people. We got ongoing wars with Nebel and an ongoing war... Oh no, we're currently... Oh no, we're at war with Becker. Ongoing war with Becker. We need to get the landings balled up for Nebel. We got the first one under control. The second one is not under control yet. We got one brigade coming out to deal with it. And probably once we crush this one, we'll pull the other two off. Be thinking about getting that port back. We're getting the process of getting another shipping line coming in because, well, that was our shipping line that Landers landed on. We'll get it coming in probably to Detmold. Detmold has a port, so we'll land our supplies there. Once that's secured, we'll probably seek to crush one of these pockets once we get the artillery properly positioned. And enough preparatory bombardment. In the meantime, construction-wise, working on heavy industry so we can deploy a lot more battle dress troops and soil demetallization. So we have more metal. You can see right now we're running a metal deficit. We're running enough surplus or enough production that we can handle this deficit long enough to get the heavy industry done. Probably running an ammo shortage, at least when all the artillery is firing. We're having an ammo shortage. We got a slight oil shortage. The oil shortage, again, is another thing we can probably work on solving by improving things like the deep core oil gas extractor. It's probably not worth trying to push the town here up to size 4 for tier 4 oil wells. Doubly so as the oil wells begin to deplete. I think that's basically all our oil. All the oil's in one space, or one city. Let's go to the mining overview. Actually, let's go by type. So yeah, we got all the metal. All the metal has an extractor on it. Maybe debate whether or not we got optimal usage. We can probably get a little bit more out of the ones that are higher accessibility. We were really desperate for more metal, although those are Lunmus. That's well, that's a private one, and in a place where we run a lot of shipping for combat reasons, and Axial, which again, same sort of thing. It's over here. We don't have the logistics to really support upgrading that anyway. So yeah, no real more metal we can get. We could probably squeeze the depletable, the ones that are already accessibly won, but those, when they run out, are empty. So yeah, metal soil filtration is the way to go. Oil, we got oil over in Axial, Marwolf as well, so we could get some oil going over here. Although this isn't the best of zones, this is pretty far down the logistical chain. We got no bottlenecks right now. I suppose with no bottlenecks, that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. We can do that one if we need more oil. Seriously. And we got oil in Sosin. So we got 2 in Axial that we don't want to mine. We got 2, or we got 1 in Marwolf, and Sosin. And Sosin's a little uncomfortable, a little far out of the way as well. Sosin is one of the ports we actually took off of someone else. So yeah, most of our oil needs to come from the higher tech, or most of our resources need to come from higher tech extraction at this point. Victory overview, we sit at 41.1% of victory out of 50 required to win. So we're definitely moving towards victory. I think what may end up happening, and this I suppose wouldn't be super fun to watch it happen, is I think the AIs that we're facing are potentially may attrit themselves to defeat. If we fight them hard enough, they will draft their population to fight us, is what will end up happening. We'll just pop growth our way to victory. Ooh, one thing I did just notice, I am running low on money. Run some efficiency drives, please.
That. Roger that.
I like to keep 10k sitting around when we got efficiency drive as an option. Another thing we can do, the city's reasonably happy.
Standing by.
This is the one with the slave trader. We can buy 2,000 people.
I'm on it.
That's one way we can get population growth going. So I think with that, I think we'll just go ahead and cycle the turn. This should be the end of the turn. So we let the opposition do what they're going to do. Try to deploy stuff to get this pocket closed. See what they do with that pocket. They've got one division here, one infantry division. So they're unlikely, I think, to move off of that hex. They may bump out one way. Hopefully they don't, so we got time to actually get the 4th Grenadier over there. To keep them muddled up. Let's cycle the turn. So it looks like Nebel is basically the first one to go. So we'll have probably the larger / slightly more exciting portion of the turn happening right now. It looks like it was a pretty boring turn from Nebel. I didn't even necessarily see more landing. Hard to tell initially if that's Becker withdrawing. It's going to be a pretty narrow front for the fight forward at this point, chasing Becker. Okay. Nothing concerning happened during that turn. We should have one of our decisions. We got 6 decisions this turn on round 259. One of our decisions should be where to put the next trade route in. Yes, for experience, appoint an advisor. We got someone we don't really care about. You can have an advisor position.
Aye, sir.
Minor worker strike.
Understood.
Dome breach, do what you can to mitigate it. Waste disposal accident, do what you can to mitigate it. And then transport contract. So we want it to probably go to one of our ports, so not Becker, or Becker. We've got a beach unload, which I don't think is a good plan. We got a port unload where we've already got stuff being unloaded. And then we've got the unused port that we took from the enemy. Let's land there. And then the question is, where do I embark from? That port could probably be brought up to snuff pretty quickly, but it's not there yet. Oh, and probably could also be brought up to functioning pretty well. You know, let's use this one. We'll do 2,500 for 42 rounds as initial shipment. Okay. So back over here, this is where all the, let's say, Dwarf Fortress Fun level stuff is going on. Quickly marching the 13th Infantry over to encircle the division they've deployed here. It looks like it's just the division. It looks like they haven't deployed other stuff. Okay, Our artillery has arrived. It's not really ready to do any bombardment yet, but it has arrived. Let's run an air recon attack.
Birds are in the sky. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
So it looked like they did have some... Well, they've got a couple of machine guns here. They got some AA capacity. Assume you over here. We'll do the same sort of recon over here.
Birds are in the sky.
Yeah, looks like it's just the infantry division. RPG infantry division. So let's take the opportunity. These guys have been out of supply. They should crumple pretty easily if we bring in enough numbers. So the odds look pretty bad here because in raw stats they are. It's probably not taking into account adequately the readiness. Maybe I'm underestimating my odds. They're obviously not punished hard enough readiness-wise.
Run!
Okay.
Run!
It's the odds I got here if we do a full attack. Looks not particularly great. Oh, that's not too bad. Not enough to get them to retreat yet.
Requesting backup.
We destroyed 14 subunits for 15, so it was about a 1-to-1 trade. That probably cost them more than it cost us. Okay. How's the bottlenecking situation for the shipper route? Shipping route actually was not completely saturated. Although the interior logistics on the island is... Okay. You're having... Wait. Why are you having... Oh, because you were upgrading the truck station. The truck station, I think... No, you weren't upgrading the truck station. So why were you having work problems? Got way too many workers. Delivery... Oh, is it oil delivery issues? That might have been it. You might have previously been receiving oil via that route, and that route's stopped. Yeah, that would do it. Okay. So what we're gonna do, unit admin, you're going... Make sure I got the right one selected. You disband. You are gonna disband. You are gonna disband. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically divide those units up into their parent formations here. So the 5th Infantry going to upgrade to Grenadier. And the first machine gun infantry is going to upgrade to Grenadier. And we should, interestingly enough, it'll take a couple turns for them to do it. We should have enough personnel to make that just happen. Yeah, we should have enough personnel for that just to happen. Because we've got units coming off from the first one. So this is going to go from 200 to 100 machine guns, pick up a RPG. We're disbanding 150 or 15 RPGs, which is enough to give them all their RPGs, and things given enough time should sort themselves. Randomly building dome farms in the middle of nowhere. Okay, metal is stable. Metal's actually uptrending a little bit, which is nice. Bullets are uptrending, so that means we didn't shoot as much as we could have otherwise. Petrol is still downtrending. Probably do need to get more petrol going. It's probably where we're at. Especially if I'm moving as many vehicles as we are. I'd like to move to even more vehicles, so yeah, definitely need to do more. Don't have enough logistics yet to transit the artillery regiments in. Partially probably because we've, there's kind of an incident going on over the front where we've lost one of the 2 ports. So next turn, we're going to start opening fire on this position because the artillery will be in position. Hoping we get reinforcements down here. Hopefully you work better. Yeah, hopefully you work better. It's a bit of a stretch to say we need to go up to truck station like 5. It's probably the point where we need to do rails, really, if we need more capacity. But I'd like to get the current construction done before we build a bunch of rails. At least the heavy industry. Okay, let's cycle the turn. Or forget, how happy are you? You're up in the 70s. That's high enough. Slave trader. Give me more people, please. Okay, don't really want to go much lower. And we're up to 41.4, so I think we went up a 0.3 over the end turn just from the enemy drafting population. Panzer Mark. Is not... Oh, is a minor. They're at war with a major, though, so other than getting peace with them, which we have, there really isn't anything else to do with them. But yeah, that was the revolt from Becker. That's Becker's revolt. Got a decent amount of political power. Let's invest that into another rebellion. So, Shadow Spy, Direct the Secret Service, Covert Ops. Don't have a Call to Rebellion at 1, I only have a 2. More likely to fail at 2.
Aye, sir.
We got success. We didn't get a critical success. We didn't hit maximum population join the rebels, but 7,700 people joined the rebel forces. Also, let's go ahead and embed more spies.
Aye, sir. Aye, sir. Aye, sir.
That's interesting. We're
Aye, sir.
quite a bit of difficulty trying to get our spies in. Something up with my, Oh. Your war score has gone to Timbuktu. And not come back. Okay, yeah, something has gone on with my, Director of the Secret Service. Let's stop throwing spies out with such a failure of a, director. I need to go ahead and get a replacement director then. I'm actually surprised he succeeded the first time, honestly, with that role. With his war score. Grab a couple militaries.
Roger that. Roger that.
And a junior.
Roger that.
Personnel, the now unemployed. We do have a camp 3 with a war of 26. So, would learn a lot, not very good to start. .33, mostly high command, not really this what we're looking for. And the camp 1 wouldn't learn very much, it's not well suited for it either. Okay, so that is covert ops. Governor of Sosin. Yeah, we might actually want to make you the new head of covert ops. Okay. So, one way to get you out of your current job is to see if the locals would like to referendum you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they did referendum him. So he is available. And then we can go to our faction, or cabinet. Cabinet, Secret Service, War of Zero. I'm assuming this is because this guy's old. Presumably his war skill has been going away. I haven't been paying attention to that. Yeah. Lost 1 strength due to old age, lost 1 charisma due to old age. Assume he's been attriting away slowly and I haven't been paying attention. So we're going to call you up.
Aye, aye.
You're going to be relieved. I'm going to tell you no job because honestly,
Aye, aye,
we're pushing you into retirement. Pushing you into an early retirement. We know you're not ready, but it's time. Okay. Let's cycle our turn at this point. I've spent most of the middle power, and we got lots of impending decisions on the next turn. Okay, so we saw a little bit of activity on the port for Nebel, but otherwise Nebel is happy to sit in their besieged ports. Okay, more Becker forces coming up from the south. Although it looks more like they're trying to form a cohesive front line, not necessarily attack. Although it's not very hard to form a cohesive front line on such a narrow approach. Okay, round 260, we got 8 decisions. Abductions. That's one of the events is going to be abductions. Still in the time of learning.
Yes, sir.
Org decisions for the new director of the Secret Service. We've got you and you. You're the person we just covertly had fired from their existing job so we could hire them for this new position. So yeah, they're getting the job.
Yes, sir.
Order acknowledged.
Zone decision, minor worker
Roger.
strike, walkout agitator,
Roger that.
pay them off. Abductions,
Roger
mitigate
that.
them. Critical success, okay. Appoint governor. So we could appoint this guy as a governor, but other than having really good skills for it, like, they're 89 years old. They need to retire. It's retirement time for them. No one else is as skilled as them. In fact, let's actually try...
Copy that.
Let's try to get them fired first, so we can get one of the other options. One of the other options over here is a Camp 3, who will grow into the position a little bit better. Camp 3. Now, he is an experienced veteran, so we're gonna give him this the golden parachute
Roger
attempt
that.
to get him out.
Roger that.
There we go. We've pushed him into retirement. That frees up our decision field, and there's the Camp 3. We'll give the job to the Camp 3.
Copy that.
Sosin's not an important city. It's one of the ports we seized off of someone else. So the person who's actually running that job does not really need to do great work.
Standing by for orders. Acknowledged. Confirming orders.
Yes, your all of 0 people is going to merge into the neighboring town.
Acknowledged. Confirming orders.
Okay, and now this makes sense to nationalize. It's going to take a while to repair, but it'd be nice to have another port. And we can ship in a bunch of colonists to get this working. The place doesn't need to hire up.
Understood.
At the same time, I should probably shove the rest in as population here.
Understood.
Okay. Construction-wise, heavy industries proceed at speed, demilitarization proceeds at speed. Good. Metal's downtrending, but that's fine. Oil's downtrending, that's fine. Those aren't concerning downtrends. The units that we're disbanding have lost their units, which is good. Outbound, we have all the troops we need. Okay. That's also good. Okay, let's attempt to crush this pocket again so we can free up these battalions. These guys are receiving no supplies, so the odds are always going to look bad just because before you apply the modifiers this isn't accounting for, which is low ammo, low food, low readiness. The things I can't, in theory, that I don't know, right? The things I don't know that we know are happening because we've got them pocketed aren't showing up on this odds.
Open fire! Open fire!
Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a cakewalk. Just means that every time we attack, they use up more and more of their ammo and become less and less capable of resisting us.
Run!
15 subunits to 14 subunits. We're still trading 1-to-1, which is not super great. That might also be because we're not waiting for our supply situation to work well either. Yeah, we're not waiting for our supply situation to work well either. That's fair enough. We got the stuff delivered and that used up all the logistics, I think. So we need another 2 of you. I've actually got enough RPGs. Just need to be deployed. Okay. And I suppose the question here is, do we want to attack... the end of the salient here, let's say. Looks like we're gonna get like 1-to-1 odds at best. The last one attacked him, so I'm gonna say no. I'll hold off. We'll do a recon run here. Air recon.
Birds are in the sky. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
And then the artillery brigades will open fire en masse.
Fire when ready. Yes, sir.
Okay. We're doing damage. We actually managed to completely destroy 6 subunits with just raw pounding from the artillery. Another 12 have been demoralized. We'll do that for a couple more turns, and then we'll send the infantry in. Yeah, I think that's going to be the turn. We now have a much better spy master, although I need to save a little more political power before we do more serious deployment of spies. Although I could probably insert some spy rings, get us some reconnaissance in the enemy's rear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so don't have enough reconnaissance to actually put spies in their rear. So we'd like to do it.
Yes, sir.
Put some in there.
Yes, sir.
And then, again, we need to cycle the turn, let some political power build up. Let bullets arrive, let forces reinforce. Okay. Okay, here's Nebel. We saw some more units entering the port. That was about it. Just more troops entering the port. Enemy hits us with artillery. Although, unlike us, where we're running reconnaissance runs before just firing their artillery off, in theory they're not. So they're relying on just a massive motorized vehicles, mechanized vehicles, to provide passive reconnaissance. So it may not have been a very effective artillery bombardment. Okay, round 261, we got 6 decisions. Let's actually take a quick look at that history and figure out how effective that artillery bombardment was. There's the artillery bombardment. They fired. No units were lost. It's artillery barrage. Of course, no units are... Or no... Of course, the defender holds. As long as we have one unit, then we're technically hold. Oh, this is the attack. I want to know the defender. Yeah, as far as I can tell, they didn't really weren't very effective there. Probably due to lack of reconnaissance. Yeah, but the supply line's being interdicted in the way because we lost our primary port, which is kind of a linchpin to our delivery. Our troops at the front did not receive full ammo. Yeah, we don't even have enough for a full artillery bombardment. Okay, we'll have to give it a little bit more before we, little bit more time before we send the final attack in. In the meantime, construction's proceeding at speed. Heavy industry should complete next turn.
Order received.
Wilco. Understood. Aye, aye, sir.
Acknowledged. Confirming orders.
Copy that. Roger that.
Okay. So, other than the one attack on the encircled troops, I think we're going to leave our guys mostly inactive right now to save on fuel and ammunition while we have a sort of a shortage to the front of fuel and ammunition.
Open fire! Open fire!
There we go. So at this point, I think their readiness has collapsed. Coupled with the lack of bullets causes them to collapse in defensive. There we go. So we can now start pulling these guys back out over for the encirclement over here. So we now have them properly surrounded with professional troops. It is only one division. I think 3 brigades technically outnumbers one division. So we get these two over here, the 17th and the 20th. We will outnumber them and should be able to crush the pocket in just raw numbers at that point. They're still running Jaeger 4s, which is heavy combat armor. It's pretty comparable to what we have deployed en masse, although we are beginning the process of upgrading to the next tier. Which is something I am actually going to attempt to do this turn. Mass upgrade, operational group, rifle 6.
Yes, sir.
Mass upgrade, operational group, rifle 6.
Yes, sir.
If we have the supplies, I'd like to do it to these guys over here as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next would be these guys.
Yes, sir.
They were able to upgrade, that's good. Last is the 7th.
Yes, sir.
They were as well. Okay. The ones over here, we already know we have bottlenecking, so I'm not going to start doing them. Theory, it's not too bad. In fact, actually, in theory, we have no bottlenecking. I'm not 100% sure why we didn't get all the ammo deployed. Probably just the run amount of ammo I was asking for. There is a process the shipping goes through. If we go look at the SHQ. SHQ to unit was short. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why we didn't get enough bullets shipped. And then this is the division between all the different types. So first it checks, okay, we need to do SHQ to zone shipment, so up to 30% of your logistics can go to that. SHQ to unit shipment, up to 30% go to that. So what might have been the case is we're just over 30%. So We didn't have anything left to go. Didn't have capacity to send stuff to units in the amount that we wanted. Then 20% goes to the SHQ from zone to SHQ. 20% goes to replenishment of units in the field. Oh, actually, that's not 30% because that's 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. So it's 40, 40, 30, 30. You'll notice that adds up to more than 100%. That's why sometimes you'll notice that units don't get reinforcements, because 40 plus 30 is... Yeah, 40 plus 40 plus 30 is 110%. So if you don't get unit replacements, the default settings provide more than 100% allotment, and they assign top to bottom. So probably what's happening is I'm actually shooting so much that our shipment on our lines is more than 30% SHQ to unit. That's my guess. Doubly so because the shipping sea lines is oil costs. So moving these units is costing oil as well as ammo. The tanks cost oil as well as ammo. And then we did have a lot of units shooting. We had the planes flying. But yeah. Okay, let's cycle the turn, let's get these guys rearmed, and then we'll start opening fire again. But yeah, we also shot, what? They got like a third of what they were asking for? Because they were shooting 2,000 something bullets by themselves. Yeah, let's cycle the turn. I need to take my port back, but it's a process getting ready for that. Let's see, does Nebel ship in more to their ports? I suppose I could do the opposite, ship out. That was actually shipping in. We saw some arrive up to 413 at the bottom port. Didn't do anything to the top port. The top port's arguably the one I want to take back sooner. Because eventually we already have the artillery deployed to the south one. We got hit with artillery. This time the artillery was effective and did some damage. Lost 100 infantry, 20 tanks. That's not too bad. We have 5 decisions. Around 262. Or a high standing is going to be one of them.
Yes, sir.
Order acknowledged. Roger.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. 20 infantry is going to start their march to the other side of island. Same with the 17th. Lost 1 light armor and 1 regular armor. Regular armor could probably actually do with being upgraded at some point. Although I think we're just waiting for the laser guns. Artillery is still waiting for more ammo. More of it shipped, though. Interesting. Must be the routes that it's taking to deliver. Because we basically saturated this line, but left that one mostly open. Okay, and we want to extend that duration.
Yes, sir.
Want to extend that one.
Yes, sir.
Probably want to extend that one.
Yes, sir.
Do probably want to extend that one. That's the like 9K route. Need to get more unloading capacity.
Yes, sir.
Let's do a smaller extension on that
Yes,
one.
sir.
I'd like that one to still be around if we take the port back, but we're obviously not really benefiting from it right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, and we had 2 routes coming in there. Oh no, that was the one I just extended. So I said we had 2 routes coming there. Now we've got one. Okay. Construction. Heavy industry did complete, so we should expect the metal expenditures to go down on future turns. Do something that's a little bit of a splurge, given that we got these currently in siege position. Let's take you up to rifle 6s, if we can.
Yes, sir.
We were able to upgrade them in position. Okay. That looks like it went by that shipping route. What about these guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we're not having supply issues too much. And yeah, it is going via this route. I'm not sure what the bullets haven't been delivered, although we've got plenty of bullets, so it should have been shippable. And yeah, it's just the delivery of bullets, specifically bullets to the artillery. It's having issues.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I think we can just upgrade all these guys at this point. Oops. Mass upgrade, not upgrade. OHQ 6.
Yes, sir.
We're not going to upgrade these guys because these guys are marching right now. Receiving that upgrade will like tank their readiness and interfere with their marching. Yeah, slowly distributing that. And that is a pretty significant improvement, at least in survivability to the units. Let's do some covert ops. So we got spies in you.
Yes,
No
sir.
spy there. Let's embed some spies. Okay, let's go at least one more turn before we try to deploy some spies. So let's see what our metal trend is without the heavy industry being constructed. I may look into doing more soil demilitarization. Also check what the power situation is, because the heavy industry might be eating a bunch more power. Heavy industry was over here, wasn't it? Yes. Heavy industry might be eating a bunch more power. No, we should be good. We'll eat like 200 more power, but we've got 1,700 surplus. Okay, even more forces coming from Nebel. Either that or our reconnaissance capacity is improved, one of the two. Probably more troops. They've been more focused on that port than they have in the other one. We got hit with artillery again. This time it didn't kill anyone. A little bit of the shuffle of troops on that front line. I think to get that offensive started again, we're going to have to bring the artillery back down and shell them. Okay, this should be popping back around us pretty quickly. Adams Range Imperium, round 263. We have 5 decisions. We've completed laser guns. That was what we were waiting for designing tanks. Tactical nuke or automated turret. Well, if I'm going for fusion atomics, it's probably the tactical nuke, actually. Although we'll probably want radiation cleansing at some point. I could say no, and then I'll just have to remember to pick something again when trying to find a battle dress. Let's say no and try to hit battle dress. A heavy battle dress, particularly.
Yes, sir.
Wilco. Understood. Roger that. Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
Orgs. Model. Model's not actively working on something.
Standing
We're
by.
gonna go ahead and
Order
give it
received.
a new model design. We are going to work on upgrading our tanks. I think particularly the tank is still running the old steel armor. Yeah, we're now up to decent field testing too, up to 68% field testing, so it's definitely a good time to do that upgrade. So, medium tank was, I think, previously running like this for the armor. We can jump to the polymer and medium laser gun. We can even maybe squeeze a little more. Yeah, if we're willing to keep the action points the same. Squeeze up to the 150. Ooh, no, let's go all the way to 200 millimeter. And this is because the medium laser gun is lighter than... well, it's arguably what we were thinking originally. Do the upgrade earlier. 150 millimeter howitzer, right? So jump into medium, saves us weight. Yeah, so it's lighter than 105, and then we can up armor to 200 millimeter to use that extra weight. Sounds like a plan. Start development. Basically, we're going to hit max all the options, so I'll do it manually. So we want medium laser. I think previously we were running the howitzer, so it's 400 more base firepower before applying the weapon mods. Shooting energy instead of ammo, which in this case should actually save on the logistics. And then we're going from steel plating, 50mm steel plating, to 200mm polymer. So it'll be massive armor improvement. Although it will be transitioning away from metal to rare metals. We got a lot smaller supply of rare metals. It's only covering the demilitarization plants. Then engines, we are still going to continue with the double diesel engine, although it should be more fuel efficient than the old double diesel engine. We've been doing some tech to improve that. Some of the optimization was what I was working on. Reminds me, let's check to see... Yeah, we're up to 58% fuel efficiency. By making motors more efficient, we will need less fuel. I believe this only applies when you develop the thing, so the new one should be more fuel efficient than the old one. It's probably time to swap applied engineerings at this point, because that's about halfway done. Probably swap to fuel mix, get more oil coming out of the existing deposits. It's over here in orgs.
Standing by. Order acknowledged.
We've discovered fuel mix. There's fuel efficiency. There's fuel mix.
Order acknowledged.
And then eco, work on the ammo printer. Don't know if that's a new building that makes bullets or it's an upgrade to the existing building that makes bullets. We'll find out when it's done. It's going to finish soon. Okay. Got more political power, so let's do... Not Shadow, let's Shadow. Didn't I have a Shadow Spy? Oh, yes. There. Move around sometimes on you. Director, Secret Service Council.
Yes, sir.
Covert Ops. Got a call to Rebellion 3.
Yes, sir.
Critical success. Apparently wasn't very many people in that zone, as only 3,000 joined the rebel forces, but there was still growth in the rebellion.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Push some more spies into their ranks. Oh, these guys need to keep their march going. Our artillery have their full ammo, so let's begin. First, start with an air recon, and then can a artillery bombardment again.
Birds are in the sky. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Fire when ready. Yes, sir.
Well, we were capable of destroying 16 subunits in that opening barrage. If we carried out an attack, what would the odds be? Nope. Game's thinking real hard. There we go. Oh, even with one unit going against 1 to 4? I know we've made the infantry better. I didn't think that we made them that much better. Yeah, I'm not sure what's making the UI in this be quite this laggy. Usually isn't this laggy. But this game in particular, it's been pretty laggy. Well, this run of this game has been particularly laggy. I would not be surprised if actually bringing the armored cars in lowers the odds here. Yeah. Although it didn't lower it as much as I was expecting. Yeah, this is looking pretty good odds for the fact that we've got them stuck in a port. And they definitely outnumber us. 2.5 to 1 when this outnumbered?
Advancing.
We need more firepower, sir.
Defender just barely held. 181 subunits lost to 10 attacking subunits. So it was a absolute bloodbath on the defense there. Looks like one machine gun held the line, and that was about it. Keep doing what we normally do. That's not going to hold long for them. Yeah, 10 to 118 or 181. So it was about 1 to 18 combat loss odds there.
Birds are in the sky.
Okay, doing a quick recon run on these guys. Let's... I'm probably not planning on actually doing this attack. Let's see what the combat odds are. Yeah, unlike the one we hit with the artillery bombardment first, these guys are a little bit more combat capable. Although we're still getting 1.2 to 1 odds. That's just showing you what Battle Dress does to units from a durability standpoint. This is fair odds, and we're outnumbered 2 to 1 on the attack with infantry. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, we're seeing the effectiveness of Battle Dress here.
Going in. All clear, sir.
Lost 24 units to 4. 2 of which are the out-of-date tanks. Which we're working to improve. The machine gun... Oh no, that was a regular rifle 6. Okay, so that's a guy in battle dress. That's actually a guy that is up to date. Fully up to date. Salem in the... yeah, okay. 1x31's not
Move
bad.
out. Mission successful.
Okay. Not a bad little offensive at this point. Although I dread to imagine what the logistics situation is going to be next turn. Once the poor logisticians have to deal with all the bullets they need to get shipped.
Understood.
Okay, that should actually be enough to work that civilian industry. Yeah, still working the demoralization. Which is fine. Okay, let's cycle the turn. Let's see how the situation evolves. Given that we take in... Oh no, we haven't taken the port back yet. Still laying siege to the port. Did a lot of damage to the garrison to the port, let's say. Oh, and this is probably went a bit long. We'll cycle the turn here and we'll see what the enemy does, and then we'll put the part break in. We're up to 41.5, and we've barely gained any territory. So this is, I think, literally the enemy side attriting their population away slowly. And or our population growing relative to theirs. Looks like they may have abandoned the port. Guess we'll find out at the beginning of next part. If there's just the SHQ there, that's effectively abandoning the port, and the 1 battalion should be able to take, or the 1 brigade should be able to take it on. Okay, we'll pick it up next time on round 264. We'll have 11 decisions, and apparently, with the new battle dress equipped troops, the enemy does not try our positions. We've suffered no losses nor made kills. We'll be picking up next time. Until then, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.